Chadarad and my colleague Yatan Mota. What a volatile day for the markets. While we did manage to extend the gains to the fourth straight day, but it felt like, there was a war and tussle between the bears and the bulls. In over a month, Sensex did reclaim that 81,000 mark, but however, it did succumb to the selling pressure and closed below that 81,000 mark. Nifty also reclaimed about that 24,500, but also settled below that levels as well. Well, Sensex was about over 600 points off from its day's high level. Nifty was also, about over 200 points down from its day's high level. So yes, market breadth that remained fairly positive. We saw that the broader indices outperformed benchmarks in today's trading session, and banks, which did not participate yesterday, even that saw a little bit of a buying interest and helped the benchmarks limit any of the losses that we saw today. Other than banks, we saw Nifty Realty Index that also fared fairly well. So, Yatin, quite a quiet session today, quite a tussle to maintain for the Nifty, that 24,500 mark. What do you make of it?
So, if you look at the markets today, definitely a lot of volatility took over the markets, especially post lunch. In fact, if you look at the Nifty, we saw only a 10-point gain coming in. If you look at the day's high, it was almost 24,570. So, we were a good 100 points off day's high. When it comes to the mid-cap indices, both small-cap and mid-cap index gained nearly 1%, and probably helping the advanced decline ratio get maintained over 1.1. So, almost a good 1:1 kind of a advanced decline ratio is what we saw. PSU banks, real estate and financial services stocks did well in trade. So, clearly the markets were supported by financial services stocks today.
That's right. Financial services did well today. But some of the top Nifty gainers and losers, let's take a look. Well, for instance, like HDFC Life, that did well in today's trading session. Well, there have been certain reports saying that the GST Council could be considering and reducing rate of 18% on life and, in fact, health insurance policies. So that is why the stock has been doing well. Even yesterday, we saw HDFC Life and SBI Life, all of them doing well. Today also, it has extended gains. Other than that, HDFC Bank, that was also one of the top Nifty 50 gainers. It has risen about 3% in the past 4 sessions, and today also the stock had hit a new fresh all-time high. Other than that, we can see Apollo Hospitals, Bajaj Finserv also topping in the Nifty 50 gainers list as well. NTPC, once again, doing well and topping the Nifty 50 gainers charts. This comes after NTPC Green, its arm, has also done a tremendous rally. It has extended gains to the third straight day, and today also it did a gain of about 9% in today's trading session. If you look at some of the top Nifty 50 losers list, we have the likes of Bharti, Airtel, Cipla, Bajaj Auto, Tata Motors and Adani Ports. Bajaj Auto, of course, this comes after UBS has reflected some price reductions for its Freedom motorcycle. We will be discussing more of that later in the segment. But yes, what do you make of the broader end of the markets, mid-cap and small-cap indices? 9th straight day of gains, Yatin.
Absolutely, and good moves coming in for the entire index. In fact, if you look at the Nifty 500 gainers, they include stocks like HEG and Graphite. And both of these graphite stocks moved on the back of China banning exports to the US markets when it comes to rare earth minerals, as well as graphite, which is probably also a dual use for military operations. So, stocks like HEG, Graphite gaining on the hopes that they will be able to get more market share for the US businesses. KC International also moved 13% higher. Few order wins here. Swan Energy, UCO Bank, and IOB. So essentially, the smaller mid caps in terms of PSU banks did well in trade. What was not doing well is some profit taking in Adani Green. Stock was down 4%. VIP Industries, Balrampur Chini also witnessing some selling at higher levels. But stocks like Oberoi Realty, Policy Bazaar, as well as CDSL continue to rise as well as hit fresh 52-week highs.
That's right. Let's break down some of the stocks that were in focus and did grab the limelight in Dalal Street today. Well, the first stock in focus definitely has to be the defense stocks. We saw the shares of Garden Reach, Midani, Paras Defense, HAL, BEML, Bharat Dynamics, all of them surging between the range of 2 to 6% in today's trading session. Well, this has come on the back of Defense Acquisition Council, which has cleared about 21,000 crore rupees defense proposals. The approvals include the procurement of 31 water jet attack crafts, 120 fast interceptor craft, electronic warfare suit, next generation radar warning receiver. So a whole list and a whole slew of defense related components that have been improved. Individually, ICICI Securities believes that companies such as Garden Reach, Cochin Shipyard, they will be the key beneficiaries of this for the 31 waterjet aircrafts, whereas Bharat Electronics and Data Patterns, they will be key beneficiaries for the electronic warfare suit. So yes, this comes as the government is aimed to attract investment of about 20,000 crore rupees by FY25. Now, despite the today's rebound, defense stocks still remain about 20 to 30% from its all-time highs. Yatin, in the first half, we did see that the defense stocks had gained some flavor in the street, but now the stock has fizzled out most of it. Do you believe that this recovery that they're seeing in today's trading could be meaningful, or is it just a short-lived reaction?
It could be a short-lived reaction, especially for the defense PSUs whose valuations are rich. But probably companies like HAL, BEL continue to be on the brokerage's radar, and more importantly, the valuations are also reasonable. So I think it is separating the boys from the gentlemen, and probably the overall scenario in defense stocks, PSU stocks will remain valuations. Remember, in the past few months, we have seen a significant amount of correction in all of these defense stocks, PSU stocks, solely on the basis of valuations and earnings disappointment. So I think the way market would look at it forward is growth in earnings as well as the overall valuation picture. That is broadly my understanding when it comes to defense PSUs and in general the overall PSU basket.
All right. Let's take another stock in focus. That is your Honasa Consumer. Well, the stock did hit about 10% upper circuit in trade today after the co-founder increased the stake in the company. So, of course, there is some optimism and some confidence which got built up after the promoter increased its stake in the company. Co-founder Varun Alag, he increased the stake in the Honasa Consumer to about 31.9% by investing 4.5 crore rupees. So both the co-founders now combinedly hold about 35% stake in the company. Now, the stock has been on quite a tumultuous ride because we saw after a disappointing Q2 performance, the stock did hit a 52-week low and it slumped about 40% in those trading sessions. But at present, the stock seems to have had a rebound and it has recovered about 29% from its lows. So some optimism coming in, but even today in the morning, like we were talking to experts, this could be a short-term reaction and the bearish phase could continue in the near term as well. Yatin, what is the next stock on your radar?
This is one stock which is in focus because of which we saw some pressure on Nifty as well. That is Bajaj Auto. Now, UBS has a sell call on the stock simply for the reason that they believe that the valuations are slightly expensive. When it comes to their new launch the premium motorcycle segment is witnessing some bit of pressure. So is 125cc. One of their Freedom motorcycles, which was recently launched in the 125 segment cc, it has seen some bit of price correction, which means that the Freedom motorcycle 125cc models have seen 5,000 to 10,000 rupees price cuts in the entry level as well as the mid segment, according to the UBS report. Now, most of the analysts believe that Freedom 125cc could do better sales because it also has a CNG variant, and probably they were building in higher margins as well as better volumes from this product. Now, with the price cuts coming in only after a few months into launch, this is something which has taken the entire street slightly on the negative side. In fact, UBS goes on to say in its report that the price cuts that we have seen for this particular Freedom 125cc would mean that the street might be at a risk of EPS downgrades because the assumption was slightly higher. Now that the product is not really doing that well as anticipated, there could be some further EPS cuts or adjustments to the price target. So, on the back of this report and news bit that Freedom Motorcycle has seen price cuts, the shares of Bajaj Auto dipped nearly 2 percentage points in intraday trade.
That's right. One of the top Nifty losers as well. That is coming in for Bajaj Auto. Let's take another stock in focus. That is your Wonderla Holidays. Wonderla Holidays zoomed over 15% in today's trading session after the company launched its QIP. The board has fixed the QIP's floor price at 829 rupees per share. which is translated into a premium of about 0.2% on the previous close as well. So, like according to reports, the institutional share sale that has received a strong demand, and it has been fully subscribed as well. So far this year, if we can see that the stock has been an underperformer, and in the past 6 months also, it has risen moderately by 6% as well. Even in the Q2 performance, that was quite mixed because we saw that the revenues had declined by 10% year on year, and net profit had increased by just very modest 7%. Wonderla Holidays, what do you make of it? Any growth story on the horizon, Yatin?
So I think we have a 500 crore QIP. Two three things the management can probably look at: debt repayment and also expansion of the existing theme parks. Now post COVID we have seen the footfall really improve. The ticketing prices also improve for entertainment, theme parks, hotels. Probably Wonderla is that particular play which really looks at rising incomes as well as higher allocation to leisure by the middle class and the general public. So with rising incomes, rising GDP, these are the typical businesses which do well. I think as a concept stocks, Wonderla has done well. Few institutional investors are also interested. With a 500 crore QIP, I think the balance sheets get strengthened. The expansion plans also get a kicker. And probably that is the reason why the shares surged over 15% intraday trade, settled, almost 10% higher because of the market volatility. But I think this is one QIP which has seen good demand. 8% higher on your screens for Wonderla after announcing QIP, which is qualified institutional investors.
Thank you, Yatin and me. Do stay tuned to moneycontrol.com for all the news updates and market insights.